So today we're going to be fixing the hinge on the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. Now, as we've probably all know, these things have problems with the hinge. Mine has not cracked yet, but a lot of them are cracking. And a lot of the reason is because people are opening it from the side rather than from the middle and closing it the wrong way, you know, like just closing it like this from the side. So the best way to open and close is like that, from the center, and again open it from the center as well. But basically people are having cracks right here, like right there, which is right where the metal hinge piece is inserted. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it closer. So you see mine has no cracks, knock on wood. Or maybe there is a tiny one. Is that a crack? See, like that's the thing, like everyone's like, oh my god, like, is it real? Cause, is that a crack? Who knows, right? I think it is, it's starting. It's like a little crack starting. But anyways, like it like turns into a bigger crack and then eventually the whole thing breaks and then, or does it break? I don't even know. But people be freaking out about this on Reddit. Like that to me just looks like a normal scratch, like you'd see on any device. But no, I think that is a real crack. Alright, so mine does have a crack. See how fast cursing your device works? But anyways, we ordered the smartphone glue on Amazon. So yeah, we're gonna try to fix it or prevent it from cracking more, and we'll let you know if it works. We'll update you in the comments section. This is the B7000, I believe. Yeah, B7000 medium viscosity. This was $5 on Amazon. I ordered it yesterday. Some guy on Reddit said that that's gonna fix it, because the problem is because the hinge piece is stuck in here and there's space around it where it should be snug. There's actually some like empty space, some air surrounding the hinge piece. So where it's like should be snug in the plastic and should just stay there, it's like a square shape, it's like starting to move a little bit because there's airspace apparently, and that movement like cracks the plastic because it's almost like, imagine this is the plastic and this is the hinge piece, and then like because of the movement it's starting to spread it. You see what I'm saying? So the spreading, it's gonna eventually crack right there. So because there's too much airspace, so what we're gonna do is fill in all the airspace with glue so then it's more sturdy. So then it just sort of stays there. That's a theory at least. We don't know if this is really gonna fix it. But we'll test it out. Why not, right? Because I love this device. I don't want it to crack and break. I might as well save it while it's still alive. If it's already too cracked, I think this is kind of a useless video. Just get another one, or get an RP5 or something, or an AYN Thor. Because, well, I don't know, maybe the AYN Thor will have the same exact problem. It's made by the same company. I don't know if you guys know that. But yeah, this you have to let it dry for 48 hours. So we're gonna pop open the screen and remove this top part, and that'll give us access to the hinge, and then we just put some glue in there and then let it dry for 48 hours and then put the top back on. So first thing we're gonna do is take this off. To take off the screen, you're gonna want like a guitar pick with some thickness, some sturdiness, because you're gonna have to go in between. You could probably use your nail as well. Yeah, me like opening it the correct way and everything. Still I'm getting a little tiny hairline crack apparently. But like, yeah, you're gonna look for this little thing. It's like a little crack. Speaking of cracks, that's where you're gonna put the pick. You're gonna squeeze it in here and it's gonna open up. So I'm gonna zoom out and have my girlfriend hold the camera so I can show you guys with two hands how I remove the screen. So with one hand behind the screen to support it, take your pick and then just kind of slide near the bottom corner into that crack. You see right there, I've got it inside the crack. So now I just push and move it, and you should feel like a little click as you move along. Little clicks as the screen becomes unclipped. Just be gentle with it. But if you, for example, if you left it, it would just stay there. But you don't want to crack your screen. Maybe support by putting one finger on the screen. Just kind of want to get it under there and move around the corner. Take your time with it. You know, be kind to your device. Don't force this or rush this. But you're basically just prying the screen away from the back plate. So you're going in and you're trying to scoop it out from under. Like so. So I've got some clips undone here. I'm going to switch to here because the corner is giving me some trouble. So I'm going to try to get in. Maybe using my nail. Yeah, okay, so using the nail, I've got it open a little bit. And then I force the guitar pick in there. Along gently. This is probably the most scariest part of the whole process, because you could damage your screen if you don't do this gently enough. But you can kind of roll the pick. It's kind of a nice movement there. Just make sure all the clips are undone. You'll hear them click. I've removed the screen on other devices before, so I'm used to these types of clips. I've never done it on this one, so I'm just being nosy. Okay, there we go. So you can kind of see the clips here if you zoom in. So there's 1 clip, 2 clip, 3 clip. I'm guessing there's a 4th one right there. So you're just going in and you're prying it up. At this point, it's already pretty pried up on this end. I could use my finger. No, it's still pretty tight. All right, I'll use the pick. Don't lose your pick inside of the gap either. All right, so the corner is a little bit difficult. Let's just go to this side now. Let's, again, just try to penetrate it with your hand behind it to support it. There it goes. Boom. All right, so we did that gently. See how it took me a while? It's okay. Take your time. But this is what you should see near the end. 4 clips. Looks like there's 3 on the side and 4 on the top. So now if you close the device properly,
listen properly,
you should be able to just pop it up. Yep, there it comes. So now your top plate is free and you have what we came here for, which is the hinge piece. Is there a second hinge piece? Oh wow, there's only 1 hinge piece. So here is actually just the ribbon cable for the screen. There's no hinge piece there. I bet you that has to do with why this thing is cracking as well, because there isn't 2 hinge pieces to increase the structural integrity of the hinge. There's only 1 hinge. That's a problem. That's really silly. They should have just cut a slot right here for the ribbon cable to go through, rather than feeding it through the hinge hole. Because you can look in there, there's no hinge piece there, only here. All right, so onto the fix. Now, we're basically just gonna put some smartphone glue in there. Also, if it's not pushed, if it's not pushed in all the way, push it that way. While you're in this step, you can use your nail or something and kind of push it. But mine's in. I don't think it's out at all. But some people say that the hinge might be out. It might be slid too far this way. So at this stage, if it's sticking out more than this, push it back in. And then you're gonna glue it. So we're basically just gonna cover this surface with glue. And that's all we're gonna do. And then we're gonna let it sit for 48 hours without putting this back on, just like this for 48 hours. So you open up the glue, you'll see this needle goes into this hole so that it doesn't dry up on the applicator hole. Okay, so you have a nice needle so you can be nice and accurate. So why don't you zoom in like right here. Maybe get some more lighting on it. Just zoom in on that point right there, yeah. And just watch. Is that as far as you can zoom? Okay. Yeah, that's a good angle. Alright. Alright, so here we go. Squeezing it out. Just gonna apply some on the top there and let it drip down. I'm pretty sure you can be pretty liberal. It's not gonna harm anything. Alright, I think that's enough. Smartphone glue. I think it's kind of like super glue. Alright, so we're just gonna let that sit there for 48 hours. Might give it a good little tap. I'm gonna close the glue here. Wash it off first. Just leave it like that. So yeah, just give it a tap. Helping the glue to fall into the cracks a little bit more. Tilt it back. Give it a few taps. Yeah, that's all we're gonna do. Apparently that fixes it. So what's gonna happen next is 48 hours will go by, and then after that, we're essentially just gonna pop this thing back on. And that glue really doesn't get in the way of anything because all that's here is this. So, I mean, technically we could put this top on and it would still dry in there. Because there is this piece right here. And I wonder if I let the glue dry without it, if that would actually get in the way. So yeah, I don't think it matters. I think it'll dry either way, so let's just pop it back on. So this should be the easy part. It should just click back on. Yeah, all the clicks should just click into place. And now we let it dry for 48 hours. So now we know that nothing's gonna get in the way. There's a little bit of the glue you could see on there, so we're just gonna take a little bit of a damp Q-tip and rub that off. Make sure you close this with the needle in and keep it. Maybe you might need it at some point. So here's a little Q-tip damp with water. And we're just gonna kind of rub the excess glue out of there. That's just for aesthetic. I mean, it's not, and then take the dry part, rub it a second time. It's not like it's gonna harm the device for a little bit of glue to be there. But yeah. That's your finished product. Looks pretty clean. Looks pretty good. Cool. Damp Q-tip cleans it nicely. Alright, so I'm gonna let this sit for 48 hours and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna review what it's like, if it feels any different or what. And I don't know if it's safe to open or close in this time period. Just let it be. I wouldn't open it. But it could be fine to open, I'm not really sure. But yeah, we'll just let it be for now.
Till next time.
So it's been 48 hours since I put on the glue and nothing has really changed. I can show you that the hinge, we don't really expect anything to change, so it's sort of a good thing that nothing has changed. See if we can get some light on the hinge crack. See, there's a tiny little crack. I don't think the glue is really gonna change the fact that that's there. It's gonna always be there, but hopefully it doesn't turn into a full-on crack. It's just barely there. It's easier to see in the daylight. But yeah, this is still a functioning hinge. It's still works the same way. Let's see if I can open it with one hand. There you go. Still, nothing has really changed. It doesn't feel any different. Somebody said it feels more solid. Maybe it does. I don't think I notice anything. Could just be a placebo effect or something, but it just feels the same, which is good. We don't really want it to feel any different. You know, one thing's for sure at this point, 48 hours in, is your device is not going to be glued shut or anything like that. It functions perfectly fine. I think the main cause here, just some reflections as I've been thinking about it over the last few days. The main cause of this hinge crack, I think, is the fact that there's only one metal hinge piece right here on the left. There's no hinge on the right. I think that's mainly the reason. On the DS Lights, we had the same problem back in 2006 or whatever. They only had one hinge on the right, and we had cracks on the right hinge. A bunch of cracks on DS Lights. Sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you get one without any cracks, but a lot of them did crack. The Game Boy Advance SPs have two hinge pieces. Those ones are pretty solid. They don't usually crack. I think it's pretty rare for those to crack. I've taken apart a bunch of them, and the hinge, I think it's the best hinge construction to have two. I don't think it's good to just have one. Like, if you really think about having a treasure chest or a door and only having one hinge on it, it's not going to function properly, and that hinge will probably eventually get worn down because it's holding all the weight of the whole entire, door, the whole entire treasure chest top piece. In this case, the whole screen. And the spring that holds the screen in place all has to be managed from this point in the device. If it's managed by 2 points, there's a lot less pressure on it, so it will last longer. It's about half the pressure, right? Not only is it half the pressure, it starts forming a kind of a weird angle over time. The fact that, when you lift it up, it's really only being hoisted from one part. There's going to be some pressure that's pushing at an angle there. So if you have this device, and it hasn't cracked yet, maybe try this glue fix, and then over the next 6 months, we'll know whether it works or not. We'll see if this crack develops into a full-on crack. I'll be honest and transparent the whole time, and I'll be playing it a lot for the next 6 months, so you will know if this works or not within half a year. All the cracks showed up within 4 months of the release of the device. So it's just a matter of time until mine cracks, right? Kind of for all of ours. It's like if it hasn't cracked yet, it's like a ticking time bomb. I thought mine was not going to crack. It just started, and I've had it for, I think I started using it in June, early June. So it's been 3 months. Yeah, exactly 3 months. So 3 months, and I'm just starting to get a hairline crack. We'll see. Really, over the next month, if it doesn't crack any more than this, the next few months, we should know that this works. If it doesn't, I'll be honest and I'll let you guys know. Apparently, Retroid is redesigning the flip and is already releasing some flips with a rounded corner. So if you look at this 90-degree angle right here, there's some flips coming out now with a curved angle there. So apparently that's supposed to help because the crack comes right off of that 90-degree angle, and apparently the curve would be less likely to crack. So they did that change. I don't think they're doing like 2 hinges. That would be the best. Maybe the rounded and add the 2 hinges, 2 metal hinge piece, and feed the ribbon cable through the middle, through a slot in the middle. I think that would be the best fix. Maybe eventually they'll do that. If you're listening to this video, anybody at More Chip or Retroid, please add a second hinge to your devices. It'll save your reputation, it'll save your sales. I mean, it's just a more sturdy build. It just makes sense. It's just logical, right? But anyways, this is our update at 48 hours. Stay tuned for more updates in the comment section in the description of this video. as well as the Reddit posts in the r/Retroid Pocket Flip 2 subreddit. Take care. Goodbye.